Hi, today we'll be talking about the concept of laws of motion. There are three laws of motion, but we'll be covering only the first one today. So, what is the first law of motion? So, you can see an object in my hand. I have a question that if I keep this object in my hand, will it move by itself? Right now, I'm holding it, so I'm applying a force. The moment I leave it, it will go down. So, it's very important to know that when we are talking about first law, it says that object at rest remains at rest. An object in motion will always remain in motion. So I have one more object here with me. So I have this belt. If I keep on moving it, you will observe that after some time it will stop. But why will it stop? It stopped because of the force of air. So if there is no air, it will keep on moving. And that's what first law says, that an object at rest remains at rest. An object in motion always remain in the state of motion. Now, when we are talking about this concept, it's very important to understand what is our learning objective. So our learning objective is to understand what is inertia. So now it's very easy to move this, but if I have to move an object which is heavier than this, I will have to apply greater force. And if I have to move, let's say, a 10 kg object, I will have to apply further greater force. So greater the mass, greater the inertia. Inertia is tendency of object to stay in the rest or in the state of motion. So when we are talking about inertia and first law, they go hand in hand, and that's why we say first law of motion as the law of inertia. Now when we're talking about the learning outcome, ideally after this discussion, students should be able to understand and should be able to describe what is the first law of motion. So these are some of the life examples which we have covered in Newton's first law of motion. Anything which is working, if it is moving because of the force, if it is stopping because of the force, so that's Newton's first law of motion for all of us. Now coming up to questions, these are two MCQs. Question 1, what does Newton's first law of motion state? An object will stay in rest or an object will stay in motion until and unless acted upon by an external force. We also have a live worksheet which you can click on it and you can answer the question. That's it from my end. Thank you and have a great time. Bye bye.